We always love getting a chance to take a look at your videos. Yes, you have the opportunity to submit your video and it could pop up and we can then give you some feedback, how we think it's going in terms of your production quality. The intro, is it too long? Do we feel like people are going to click away before they get to the meat of your content? That hurts like so many channels. It's one of the top things we see with retention graphs is that nice steep line. And we're trying to fix that today. In fact, look out for a new image post on our community tab because I actually asked that very specific question for later this afternoon. So let us know once that pops up what your retention graph looks like. I'm using words like us and we a lot because I'm not alone. Viper's here.
Who is that? Who is that guy? I don't know who that is. Who let him in the building? Who let him in? But hello, Dan. Hello, crowd. How are you? You know what, Dan? I don't know if it's something we have to bring up in the marketing meeting or something, but at some point we need to figure out a name for our vidIQ community. We got to do that. That would be cool.
Yeah, at one point the name Vidiots was pitched. Yeah. I don't know if people take to that too well. I don't know if that's like a very polite thing to call people.
I don't think that's going to work. We have to come up with something else.
All right. Well, we'll think about it. So thank you all for being here. If you're watching this and you're like, gosh, dang, like vidIQ making a 2-hour video, what's going on? Well, that's because it's actually a 2-hour live stream. And if you're thinking that, it's probably because you didn't catch us live, which means you probably didn't have the chance to submit your channel today. But don't worry. All you need to do is subscribe, turn notifications. And when that form pops up, you can submit your channel. And then if you can't make it to the rest of the live stream, you can go on your merry way. But today we're going to be looking at channels from people here at live in chat who have submitted. And then also, real quick before we start, I want to say, if you submit your channel and we don't get to it, which does happen, please do be taking notes anyway, because we're going to see a lot of different types of channels, a lot of different types of techniques, and we're going to be giving a lot of advice that we feel benefits everybody here. That's why we do this live. If we wanted to give advice to just one-on-one, if we felt like, oh, we're going to look at Bob127's channel, but anything we say to Bob doesn't apply to anyone else, we wouldn't do these live. We do these live because we feel like the advice we give one channel can be passed along to many, many, many channels. So please be sure you are taking notes throughout today's stream. With that out of the way, are you ready?
I am ready. Let's rock and roll.
All right. So what we did, as we do, is we've taken the channels that have managed to submit first on both forms, again, linked down below. These forms are for non-gaming channels and gaming channels, respectively. And the first channel we're looking at who submitted on the non-gaming form is Bit Arcade. And it does sound very gamey, but they're not, because they actually do 3D modeling and animation. So something they could do for video games. This is a very, very unique skill set and something I feel like could be a really, really strong skill set in the YouTube space. But they are specifically about animations. So they're very short videos. I think we should take a look at the first one, which looks to be a Blender tutorial. Make camera follow object in Blender 3.2. Nice, simple title. Interesting thumbnail here. Let's take a look.
Okay, so what you want to do to make the camera follow your object is first go into the constraints section and make sure you're on the camera, add object constraint, press track 2. So right now, make sure it is tracking the cube. If you go into camera view, so here I am.
So we're 30 seconds in. I like it. I definitely have some like general feedback. What do you think?
I know as a kid, so I know this advice may or may not resonate, but I am not feeling the confidence in this creator as they give this tutorial. And this is a tutorial. So if you're teaching me how to do something, I need you to feel confident about what you're teaching me. And I'm just not getting that here. But like I said, this is a young creator, so do with that information what you will.
Yeah, right as we were getting up to that 30-second mark, I was waiting to pause the video. We're not going to watch the entire thing, but I felt that too, because right as I paused it, it sounded like the creator was starting to fumble a little bit. Like they were like, oh, you know, they something didn't go exactly as planned, and so they were trying to kind of fix that in the moment. I'm getting the sense that they don't really edit their videos. They just kind of like try and record very, very short videos that they don't really need to edit. and then they upload them to YouTube, which is a strategy. You know, we're not going to edit this live stream, for example. We just kind of hit go live, and eventually it just becomes a YouTube video. But in this case, I think though that confidence would have been there at least in a pseudo kind of way if you would cut out the mistakes at the very least. But I know what you're saying. You're talking about their like overall like presence on the microphone.
Yeah.
You know, we're recording quietly. There's obviously something going on in the background, so this person doesn't want anyone else to hear what they're doing necessarily, or they don't want to interrupt what's going on in the background. Someone's watching TV, it sounds like. So that's all kind of going on. I was going to say, I think it's good that they just kind of jumped right into the content. We didn't get like a proper intro, and I don't necessarily think we need one. But there is room here, I think, for a hook, a small hook. Like, have you ever wanted your objects to be easily followed by a camera when you're in Blender? Like, just a quick question for the audience. Or you could have accompanied that with the end result here. So by the end of this video, you're going to have the camera tracking this object, right? You start by showing and demonstrating exactly what they're going to get when they get to the end of the tutorial. And you use that as kind of like a bit of an intro. Like, if you're trying to do this, stick around. Like, just even a sentence to just kind of pull us in, just to make sure, oh, I am in the right place. They're showing me exactly what I want to know. Great. My next bit of advice, and the last bit of advice I have for this channel, is right here in the menus. You were clicking in these menus quite a bit, but it was kind of fast. And there's so many buttons and knobs and dials there. It would have really benefited the audience if you had, again, going back to editing, zoomed in on those menus when you were in the menus. So you're just constantly punching in and out of menu, widescreen, menu, widescreen. So whenever you need to reference the object itself, it's widescreen. When you're like, oh, click here, menu, make sure people can very easily see where you're directing their mouse cursor, because as this is a tutorial, the people watching your video are probably very new to using the software. So what feels obvious to you because you've used this before, it might not feel as obvious to the people who are, watching. So those are our, I think, general points of advice here.
I think that's a good amount of information to go on. Definitely.
Yeah, they don't have like a ton of videos yet, kind of getting into it, but I like what they're doing with overall. I like what you're doing with the nice simplistic thumbnails. I think you could get a little more creative with these. Like, camera follow object is a good amount of text, I think, but this little symbol, I can't put my cursor on it, but the symbol that basically represents the camera, that's what it looks like in Blender. But I think you could have gotten away, if you wanted to really drive the point home, you could have gotten away with putting an icon that looked like a camera, like an actual camera, instead of that. But this is a nitpick of your thumbnail, not necessarily something that has to be, done. Just something that you can consider if you're looking to fancify these a little bit. And then also, I think gray on gray on gray. I know that you can like add colors to objects in this software. So maybe a better thing to do would have been to add some color, at least to the camera, the subject, the object that the camera's pointing to, just to help it separate from the background. I get that Blender uses this gray background, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. But yeah, I would have made that object a little bit larger and given it a splash of color, just so the viewer can easily identify it while they're quickly scrolling on their phone or on their desktop. So there we go. Went into channel audit mode there for a minute, but that's how this generally works. We look at a video, we give some critique, and we go to the next one. So this was the first person to submit on the gaming only form. So for gaming channels, they would like us to subscribe for video game kill counts, and that is apparently what they do. So why don't we check out their latest video? Actually very short. Maybe we should check out Stray. About a good 10-minute video, and yeah, be really curious to see what they do with this. Let's see.
Welcome to the kill-death ratio, where I count every kill and every death. Today, I'm playing Stray. Released just a few days ago, Stray has the player controlling a cat in a post-apocalyptic world devoid of human life. Developed by indie studio Blue 12, Stray began development in 2015 and was officially announced June of 2020 to much hype because the internet loves its cats. Stray is a beautiful and simple game with a unique premise and fascinating world. Populating this world are the Zerks, an experiment gone awry that consumes life whether it's biological or robotic. Will 9 lives be enough to survive? Let's find out right now. We open with our 3 cat.
All right, so it's 34 seconds in. What are your thoughts? Have you played Stray?
Yeah, actually, I have thoughts about this channel as a whole. So this is very, very interesting that we are reviewing this video on this channel because I recently started binging a channel called Dead Meat. I don't know how many of you all in the chat are familiar with Dead Meat, or Dan, if you're familiar with Dead Meat, but Dead Meat is a channel that does a lot of videos of kill counts for popular horror movies. So they really go through movies like, let's see, the latest Halloween 2018. Actually, no, Halloween Kill came out last year. So they recently did a video and they went through all the kills that occurred in Halloween 2021. So it seems like this creator is trying to do that on this channel for video games. It's a little weird because the kills are going to be different for everybody that's playing the game. You're not going to have the same amount of kills as somebody else who's playing the game because we all play the game differently and things like that. And especially in Stray, I don't know how many. I mean, I played a few hours in Stray and there's not really any killing going on per se, so I'm not sure how that's going to apply to this video. But
later on, there's some. I like later in the game, you get access to some tools.
Oh, okay. Maybe I've got that far yet, but I know in the first like 4 or 5 hours, there's no killing going on. But yeah, this is interesting because again with the variation on how many kills that you could potentially get on whatever particular video game you're covering, I don't know. It just seems type of an interesting concept. Well, what are your thoughts?
I like this as a concept. I don't know if it's the most original, but it's definitely, as a variety channel, as far as variety channels go, I would say this is a much more original idea than what I've seen a lot of gaming channels do, which is I'm just going to play my favorite games. You know, they're doing a very specific.
Taking shelter during a rainstorm.
My cat has decided to produce the stream for us by sitting on my keyboard. So I think this is a really cool like concept for a channel, but. Channel audit aside, I was going to say the intro of this was about 32 seconds or so. It did feel like what we would generally consider a long intro, but I think it's kind of needed here because we do need to consider the channel as a whole. They're going to be playing Stray and they're going to be playing a lot of different games that are kind of like dark and there's killing in them. And I think introducing the audience to the game, assuming they've never played it, maybe they've heard of it, but they've just never played it, is a smart move when you're going to be playing a lot of different games. The through line for this content is the kill to death ratio or the kill count for each game. And I think that's pretty cool. That's a really cool niche that they've kind of carved out for themselves. But yeah, you would normally hear us say, oh, this was a very long intro. But the key here is it can be a long intro, in my opinion, if it moves. And it did. I think I don't know if you would agree, Viper, but I feel like it really like did a good job of pulling us in, and they continue to just kind of keep it moving.
So this is interesting because he said that Dead Meat is his inspiration. So it all makes sense. I'm like, yeah, this is a lot like the Dead Meat channel. Like, yeah. So yeah, I would yeah, because Dead Meat does his intro the same way. He'll give you some backstory of the movie and how it was shot and what actor played it, and then he'll go into the kills. So yeah, like I said, it's just weird because again, for video games, it's going to be different for everybody. But I mean, I feel like as long as you tell the story of the game that you're doing a video about, like he does on the Dead Meat channel, I think you might have some success with this. So I would say keep going and see what happens.
Yeah, I think real strong overall, strong editing, strong intro. I'm trying to think about like some other advice here. Let's look at the outro and just see. It looks like you've included your own cat here in the outro.
Created here, and I hope to see a sequel where we see the cat reunite with his pack. Maybe next time we'll see a detailed cat modifier so us cat owners can create lookalikes of our own furry friends. I absolutely loved Stray and urge everyone to check it out. Comment down below your thoughts on this game and don't forget to subscribe because next time I'll be back with Resident Evil 4.
Hey, do we not get a kill count tally? We need a tally, baby. Come on now.
Hey, we may have skipped it.
Maybe.
It seems like there was. Yeah, there's some breakdown at the end.
Okay, well, we got to have a tally at the end, man.
The interesting way they've done their outro here, subscribe call to action stuck at the very, very end. And you did tease that the next game is going to be Resident Evil. So instead of throwing to a past video, you're talking about a future video, which usually doesn't take too long to like get on the channel. So you're only your end card is left without this video for only a little while, and then it gets posted. And you've decided to go about that linking it to a playlist, which is probably a smart move. So it's probably going to be in order from like latest video to oldest video, which means if you're saying Resident Evil's next, then it'll pop up here. So yeah, that's I think overall, even your outros, pretty strong.
Yeah, you're on your way, man. Well done.
Yeah, I think the only other thing, because I do want to leave you with a little more advice for 2 months. Oh, I see. That was your first video, so it is going from oldest video to newest. I might consider just going back and like linking this video, since you do specifically mention it in your end screen. Now I can see the difference there. So yeah, I'd say once the video is released, you should go back to this video and put this one in the end screen, because you did go out of your way to mention it, so it'd be good to always have that there. These are some pretty solid views for a channel at your subscribe count, and the views you're getting right now are like, this is really solid. Way more often than not, it's views over subscribers, which is great to see. You have something here. I think your titles, that's what I would be worried about. If I'm just to put my channel audit hat on for a second, I think your titles could be a little more interesting. I don't know if these look, Viper, like the Dead Meat channel and the way they do their titles.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if, because this is a gaming audience, maybe there's titles you can test that could help you get even farther. This might be the case that you're doing it perfect, and it's just a matter of needing to get more content on the channel. So maybe over time, these videos continue to get more and more and more views as they get shared. But yeah, if you feel like it stagnates at any point, just look at your data to decide this. Maybe start testing some different titling structures. All right. So those are the first 2 channels that submitted. And now we can move on to this. It's the claw.
It's the claw.
It's the claw. The claw picks the channels. We just do what the claw says.
Or unless if Dan Cat intervenes, then the Dan Cat picks the channel.
Yeah, the cat may also join in on picking some channels. So we have 2 forms here. They're pretty light right now, so your chances are higher than normal for getting in here. We have the non-gaming form and we have the gaming form, and they're both pretty close to 200, I'm going to say. So we'll just set the claw for now, probably just for this first draw, to 200. And we'll start. The links are down below if you want to get into the ball pit here. 145 on the non-gaming form is going to be our first channel that we're looking at today. And let's see. We have eventually the Blue Stand. All right. So they are a Chelsea fan channel. Why don't we look at their latest video?
All right.
Humiliation and embarrassment are the 2 words that comes to my mind after seeing Chelsea's performance against Leeds yesterday. Chelsea was nowhere near to score a goal. Our midfield was almost non-existent in the match. Gallagher was completely overdone, and he was unable to match the tempo of Leeds' press. And there was no pace in the game. Chelsea was completely humiliated, destroyed, and demolished in the
Okay, very intense. I like the energy. What are you thinking?
I like the energy, but was the echo coming from you or him? There was an echo.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was probably me. I did not mean to do that. Here, let me rewind a little bit. Just tell me if it comes back.
Leeds press.
Okay,
And
yeah, it's gone now.
No.
Sorry, everybody. Okay, that was me. So that was not the creator.
Okay. Yeah, he really brought the energy. Although, it's kind of hard to understand what he's saying, though. I'm guessing that English is not his first language, but he's doing his best, so I'll give him that. But yeah, I love the passion. He's really passionate about Chelsea and what's going on over there. So I say keep that same energy, man. Keep that same energy. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think there's some very like obvious things we can say about the content itself to try and just give you some takeaways. the advice that we'll share with you here is not for you to, and this just goes for everybody. Anytime we give like production advice, especially, we don't expect channels to take this advice on for their next video, because a lot of the things we suggest a lot of times kind of come down to big restructuring of your YouTube studio. It could come down to spending some extra money. So like just some things as you kind of grow into your channel, right? I think that the camera angle and stuff you're using, it's a little bit of an awkward angle because you're not really centered on the screen. You're kind of like off to the side. And then we have like a lot of blank space around you. I think if your camera was a bit higher and kind of tilted like more towards your face, we could see a little more of this space that you're in, and or a little less of the space you're in rather. I mean, you still have room on the sides for the the different characters or like players you're going to put on the screen here. So that would be my first bit of advice. Did you notice anything?
No, yeah, I think you're on point. Also, it sounds like the audio is out of sync with the video. I don't know if you noticed that, but it seems like what it appeared like to be with on my end where I'm watching.
I did notice that too, and I'm having that problem right now. I need to play with my settings, and for me, I've determined that like there's a small investment I can make on my computer, to my computer, my streaming setup, to make that a little bit better. So yeah, I wasn't gonna fault them for that, but I'm live. When I have a desync, I go into post, I go into my editing software, and I fix it there. And one trick you can do for this is when you record, take your microphone wherever it is and look at your camera and just clap. What that's going to do is create an audio spike in your audio file for your video editing software, right? And what you do is while you're editing, you go back to that point where you clapped and you look for the moment your hands are touching together, and you look for that spike and you line those two things up in your timeline, and that will help your audio sync issue. There's also like, you can also do that if you have multiple mics. Like I have an on-camera mic and I have this external microphone. And so the clap usually gets picked up in both, and then I can just sync those up really easy. So that's just like one trick you can do to kind of help that desync issue in your editing.
The good old audio clap, a timely classic.
Mm-hmm. And then the last bit of advice I have is, while you're talking about these different players, because you mentioned 3 or 4 different players while you were kind of going in this intro, I think because you're probably hesitant to use footage from the match, which I don't blame you. I think what you should be doing instead is using more of these cutouts, and maybe them in different poses, just to kind of vary it a little bit. But as a layman, I don't know who you're talking about exactly, but you know. So I would take a day to like cut out as many different players as possible, so you kind of have them in a big folder called players, right? And then while you're editing, when you mention somebody, have them pop up on the screen like little whack-a-mole, just like have them just kind of pop up and come back down, pop up, come back down. And this kind of gives your video a little more variety. This seems like a good like podcasty kind of channel. So I think a lot of people will just kind of turn on and listen to it in the background anyway. But for those who kind of do stare and pay attention, I think those will be really good for your retention. Just having something moving on the screen beyond just kind of you. And then in that, just trying to get your screen, your footage a little more varied. When you go and like kind of change your camera angle and stuff, if that's something you decide to do, you could also be doing stuff that we do. Like we kind of punch in and out constantly of like things we're saying to kind of make our points more clear. Like if we have like a big point, we might say, and that's why XYZ, and like we'll punch into ourselves. So there's a lot you can do here to, I think, help your retention overall.
Indeed. I said it before and I'll say it again. I love seeing all the young creators getting out there and putting themselves out there and making videos, because it's not easy, especially as a young person. We know how cruel kids can be in society in general. So just to see all you young people out there just putting your hat in the ring and being on YouTube and putting yourselves out there, I commend all of y'all, and I commend your parents for supporting you in doing so. So, hey, keep up the good work and keep putting yourself out there and keep making that content.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for submitting your channels. We have on each forum now over 200, it seems. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the claw again to 250. Cover everybody. And we're going to pull out number 58 on the gaming side. All right, playing Geometry Dash. We saw a Geometry Dash channel yesterday. Same one. Could be. It's similar looking, but I don't think it is the same one. Similar thumbnails to yesterday, though. All right. So they're playing Geometry Dash. Why don't we check out the latest video, which looks to be about the length of, a normal video for them. I think it's just going to be music. So I'm just going to kind of mute it right now. Even though it's probably safety is probably from the game. I just can't be too sure. Yeah, it's still just music. So the creator's not like commentating on this. They're just kind of doing runs through the level itself. So that's about 30 seconds or so. Well, what do you think?
So the title says Flooded Cavern Release. So I'm guessing this is a new level in the game. So I am going to get that the whole premise of the video is just to show off the level. But man, I keep trying to tell y'all, especially in the gaming niche, the gaming niche is so crowded. You got to find a way to stand out, and Dan can tell you. And when you post videos like this, which is gameplay, I can get that anywhere. Why should I come back to your channel? That's what you need to ask yourself, especially if you are an up-and-coming gaming creator. Why should a viewer come back to your channel time and time again when there are so many other gaming creators out there doing things and trying to get themselves noticed out there? So you got to figure out a way to set your content apart in any niche, but especially in the gaming space. Whew. And this video doesn't do that for me.
Yeah, I think what needs to happen for channels like this, if you're going to cover like a newly released update for a game, you should probably consider bringing like a unique perspective to it. So what I mean is like the Flooded Cavern. It looks like you've done a couple videos on this now. It looks like you're kind of doing different videos on all the different like levels that have been added. I think since you're this YouTube channel that plays this game, it would be a little more impactful if you were giving more of your take on the new levels. What's your opinion of them? Or are you kind of like, maybe you're really bad at them, maybe you're really good at them and you're doing speed runs? Like, I want to see something beyond what I could see on IGN, for example, like IGN, the gaming news website. Like when a game releases an update, especially like a popular game, news websites tend to do this type of content like right away because people come to them just to see like, okay, so new levels for my favorite game are released. What are they like? And like news websites don't want to waste anyone's time. They know what they know their role. So they're just going to kind of show people, but these days, even they give like an opinion and like a take on it too. But there's like a lot of like just this content. I would call this like very static content. There's no commentary. There's not a lot of intrigue in the video itself. Like the person is proceeding through the level really well. There's nothing going wrong, and you as the viewer just kind of get like a good like view of like what the level looks like and how it plays, and that helps you decide, oh, maybe I'm going to download this update, maybe I'm going to buy this update if it's like for sale, maybe I'm going to get this game finally. But you're competing with a lot of people. It's not like a very unique type of content. So in channel audit mode here, my advice would probably be to consider like, what is your voice that you can bring to this? What is like your unique selling point beyond just, I'm just going to kind of play through the level? Like I would be looking to do speed runs. I would be looking to do like finding glitches or just, montages of you screwing up really bad. I want to see something that I can't get anywhere else, and that's kind of what I feel like. Like, let's click on another one for a sec here. This, I don't know this game too well. So like for all I know, this is like just a shortened version of the video we just watched. Because it is the same Flooded Cavern. And the titles too, they're just very like matter of fact. There's not like a lot of intrigue here. So sometimes when we do these, we do go into like channel audit mode, or we just kind of talk about the channel as a whole. But I think in this case it was justified because there's not a lot for us to latch onto in the content itself, huh?
Not really, no.
Yeah. Also, I just noticed that this thumbnail has blue text on it, but it's like a blue thumbnail, so we can't really see what the text says. I would be making that text white.
Wow, I didn't even know there was text on the thumbnail, so you just said something.
Yeah. I would make that text white so it stands out. If you're going to use it at all, it doesn't look like you need to. But yeah, also look at other Geometry Dash players out there on YouTube. See what they're doing. See what works for them, so you can have the very best thumbnails and titles out there. All right. We're going to go back to our forms here, which are, this one's precisely at 250. So let's go ahead and grab one, number 88, from the non-gaming form. And they've got 2,000 subscribers. They do film reactions. All right. So they're going to be reacting to various movies. Why don't we go ahead and watch the latest one?
Catering service, the next film by Geo Baby, director of The Great Indian Kitchen and Freedom Fight. Sadly, the trailer only has 35,000 views, and I don't know why there's no much hype around this film. So let's see what's in store. Okay. Hey, he's also there in the film.
All right, so that's about 30 seconds in. First thoughts.
So you get right into it. So I like that. I'm just wondering. I don't really watch too many reaction channels. So I don't know what the format is for doing something like this, but I don't know if there's a way to maybe damn, I don't know. It's hard too because you're watching something in real time that you reacted to, and you're not really actively engaging in every part of the video with the viewer. So doing reaction channels is just difficult in and of itself because you're waiting on something to happen that will cause you to react. And meanwhile, you got the viewer there waiting on something that's going to keep them in bound to keep watching your video. So I don't know. I don't really have much to say other than the fact that I like the fact that he got right into it. He mentioned something about the trailer getting a low number of views, and he wants to know why. So he's doing that. So kudos for getting right into the content.
I liked that as well. That just kind of just started right away. There was a little bit of a description of what was going to happen. I'm scrubbing through the timeline now. I want to see something. So I see like once in a while they kind of have a bit of a reaction, like their mouth opens. When does the trailer? Okay, so the trailer stops around 2 minutes, which what I'm worried about is that is like the length of a trailer. And as far as I understand with reaction channels, it's really important to, and I could be wrong, I don't have a reaction channel and I don't watch these a lot, but I think for fair use and just to keep you on the up and up, I think it's important you don't show every frame of the thing you're reacting to, if I recall. I think especially if it's a long piece, like you should have it run with you watching, right? But like you also cut it in different parts, or you cut away from it sometimes to give your opinion about like a scene that you saw or something like that. So I kind of worry that as you continue, if you just do trailers and you show the entire thing, you could get into some trouble. So just be sure that like you look into that for yourself, look into transformative content, things like that. Just make sure that if you're going to continue doing it this way, you are like all good. You feel confident in terms of like legally speaking what you're allowed to show and not show. The last bit of the video is what I would anticipate, which is like your actual like thoughts on the whole thing. Okay, we just watched this together. Like, here's my thoughts. I kind of wonder, and if your retention is really, really good right now, this might be permission to do this. I kind of wonder if this video shouldn't be longer. I feel like you could say more, like about a 2-minute trailer. I know when like, it's gonna be so cliche. I know when Marvel releases a trailer, there's so many things that you could pick apart and like talk about, you know, there's, especially when it comes to Marvel, like there's so many comic book references from not just the source material that the movie's about, but like other types of comics get referenced in these trailers. And you could say, oh my gosh, and that's from like, you know, the Spider-Man comic and whatever. So you can really like get in depth. And I kind of wonder if since all of your videos seem to be kind of short, if this isn't like an opportunity you can capitalize on, where maybe instead of just reacting to the trailer, you maybe go back in certain parts and, okay, see like this scene here, or okay, this actor here is like another film that was really good. It was directed by this person and they have this history. And I think you can like bring more to it. And I would only do that as long as you're feeling good about where your retention's at now. Because the longer videos that get more watch time, if people are willing to stay with your video, like let's see, like a 10-minute video and they stay for the majority of it, that's like a sign to YouTube, like, dang, this person held someone's attention for 10 minutes. Like, that's awesome. So, I do want that for you. So it's just it'll be kind of like a icing on the cake, I think.
Yeah. Before we move on, I want to address a question that I just saw in the chat. Somebody was asking, is it harder to grow a channel if you only have a tablet at your disposal instead of a PC or a laptop? No. Mr. B got to 100,000 subscribers on his iPhone. Our very own El Jefe Reviews got, I think, 20 or 30,000 using his Samsung smartphone. So you don't need a tablet, you don't need a PC or a laptop to grow your channel. You just need will, determination, and a smartphone, and that will take you very, very far.
Yeah, you can. These devices we have now make the entry level, the bar you need to clear to actually get onto YouTube is so much lower than it's ever been. And every year it gets easier. Every year the phones get better and better. Every year there's more used phones in the market that were better than the previous models. So like it's cheaper and cheaper and cheaper to like get on YouTube. It's actually the reason we do streams like this, because there's just so much competition on YouTube. And what we would like to do just across our entire company is help everybody level up in some way. And you can absolutely level up your content and still only have a tablet at your disposal. There's so many things, even with just a tablet, just a smartphone, that you can do to just continually level up your content. You can do it in your editing. You can do it with your titles and thumbnails. You can do it with your presentation, just your on-camera presence as a whole, stuff that costs no money. So that's what we're kind of here to help everyone with. But yes, we are believers that anyone can get started with any kind of device as long as it has a camera and a microphone.
Yeah, for the first 7 months of my YouTube career, all I had was my iPad Pro. I did everything on my iPad Pro. I recorded the footage, I recorded the audio, uploaded the videos. I did all of that with my iPad Pro for 7 months. So it can be done.
Yep. So yeah, best of luck to everybody with their various smart devices that they've got starting on YouTube. We are going to go back to the Claw and pick a gaming channel on the gaming forum, which is just under 250 submissions now. Just a warning, we will not get to all of them. So 156 is the next one. So someone very recently. Okay, how many numbers are in here? 156. Game Swinger, live streams and updates. All right. Let's see what we got. It's the same channel that we just looked at because I did not copy the link the right way. Let's try again.
No, what happened to me yesterday. I was trying to copy links and they would go to the same channel. So I think something's going on with the document.
So they are doing live streams. It looks like they're playing Stumble Guys. And I want to say they're doing some short videos. I think that's where the updates, quote unquote, come in from their description. They do live streams and they do updates. Is it all Stumble Guys? It does seem to be right now, at least. That is their bread and butter. They were doing Apex, Fall Guys, some different things, but they've decided to niche down with Stumble Guys. All right. I want to see two things. I want to see a little bit of your update video, and I also want to see how you kind of get into a live stream.
हेलो गाइस आप सभी का इस वीडियो में तो जो चीज
I don't think I can play that song. We might have to mute this. Does it say? Does it say? That sounds like music that is not going to be licensed to you.
Wait. Go back to the description, Dan. All right, background music, beat a mobile app. I don't know what that is, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either. I will say that it's far too loud. Yeah. You and the music were fighting for attention. I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit, unmute for a sec. So I can tell it's not in English, which is not necessarily my issue. It's just the fact that you and the music are competing for attention. And I think, maybe you like the song a lot, but it's just, this is not the right place for it. Especially when you're making videos like music with lyrics, even if it's low, the lyrics are distracting. Like, do you agree with that?
Yeah. And it's hard. It's hard balancing music out in a video, but you gotta lock it in because, like Dan said, when you start competing with the music, or when the music starts competing with you, it's not a pleasurable viewing experience at all.
Yeah. So that would definitely be our advice there. It does look like you've incorporated some edits, though. It does look like you are giving people that update they came for. Here's the other issue. You are in your titles and thumbnails targeting an English-speaking audience. But unless you're just talking really fast and it doesn't sound quite like English to me, I don't think that's the case. I don't think you're speaking English. Yeah, I don't think
speaking English. No.
So you should be, if you're going to title your videos this way, you should be speaking English, or at the very least providing English captions. But there's actually no even like automated captions available for this video. So if I really wanted to hear what this update was about, I wouldn't be able to like just read the captions along with the video because they're not there at all. So this is really, really important. You should be titling your videos in this case so they target the language that you're trying to target with your content. It should be clear in your title and your thumbnail that, you know, the person, like, it's going to be in your native language. I was expecting this to be in English. So that's, I think, right there, the advice we have for your long form video content. Let me just look at a live stream. I'm still curious to see how they kind of get started. So this sounds like in-game music. This doesn't sound like anything you wouldn't be allowed to use necessarily. But I'm kind of, one thing I'm kind of concerned about for a live stream, from a live stream intro perspective, is normally when you're setting up, you would have like a countdown timer, you know, like something going that indicates to the viewer that, hey, the things are about to start soon. But if you had scheduled the stream and anyone was waiting for it to start, and then you kind of came online and it was nobody there, it might feel a little bit awkward to the audience that showed up, you know, like early and they've been waiting for you. You know what I mean? So something you could do is create like a countdown timer or something like that, so that your viewers, whether they're watching this after the fact or live with you, know that like things are just kind of getting started. I see you turned on your Stream Elements bot, so it feels like the game is running and you're in the background kind of like doing things. So definitely needs something there for your live streams. Let me kind of like jump ahead.
Hello guys, welcome to the
Oh, I jumped right where they said hello. Excuse me.
Okay, now keep playing that for a minute, Dan.
stream. Please do like and subscribe. Guys, जो भी नया जुड़ रहा है, please like और subscribe जरूर कर ले. अपने दोस्तों के साथ share करना ना भूले.
Okay, so either he's speaking in multiple languages or he's talking really fast. And my question is, why is the one video in Hindi and this one is live streaming in English? I'm so confused right now.
Yeah, they typed in the chat too in English. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It feels like they're still setting up and they jumped in real quick to say hello 2 minutes in and just to remind everyone to subscribe, but then jumped off again. I heard the mic go just quiet, like they muted it. So I would say the stream intro here does need some work. At the very least, like some kind of countdown or something. It looks like they also kind of put themselves on camera for a sec.
Do we gotta grab them?
Is there multiple people? I'm kind of confused.
That is not the person speaking, I don't think.
Maybe. Oh, you know what I did? I accidentally clicked to the next video. There's like that's a different channel, I think. I clicked this button. Sorry. I'm like, what's going on? Okay. The chat is also not speaking English for the most part. So yeah, there's definitely a target audience issue here with your content. I think you're going to grow a lot quicker if you title your videos and present them in such a way that the native language, like your native language, is represented in the title and thumbnail. Because YouTube's going to be like, okay, English title, got it. And they're going to try and push this video to people who are searching for those phrases in their native language, and they're not going to get the results that they wanted when they click on the video because they can't understand your language.
Yeah, in my opinion, unless your channel is specifically targeting a bilingual audience and you're teaching another language, you should not be putting out content that is bilingual. You're going to confuse people.
Yeah. All right. So thank you for submitting your channel. That's our advice for you. And we will go back now and see that we're over 250 on both of these forms. We're going to update the claw machine to about 275.
Huh? Nothing.
127 from the non-gaming side. Something went wrong. Yeah, you bet it did. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. We're almost at 300. What about this one? Let me refresh. Okay. And what did the claw pick? 127. All right. So I'm still going to go to 127, but we do need to update the claw again. All right. Non-gaming, G2K racing. It's racing videos. All right. We're doing shorts. We're doing longs. Looks like some live streams as well. Why don't we go ahead and check out the latest long form video? I can tell it's gonna be loud. All right. Interesting. So this person has some access. This is kind of cool.
I got thoughts.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with you like posting racing videos on YouTube, but I need some type of context. What I need is I need to know what's under the hood. What type of car is that? What's under the hood? What engine are we looking at? What type of transmission? I need details. There's nothing in the video. There's just two random cars racing, and I know nothing about either car. Now, the video title points to you talking about the Mustang, but what year is the Mustang? What is under that Mustang's hood? What modded parts did you add to the Mustang, or what did that person add to the Mustang? I just need some type of details so I know what I'm looking at, because right now I don't know what I'm looking at. I need details, Dan. That's what I need, and I'm not getting that here.
Yeah, let's see something real quick.
With Manny Vajinga and his Pro Charged Mustang.
So this is the stuff you want.
Yeah.
So they're gonna talk about the car a little bit now. I agree. I'm kind of wondering. So like, you feel like this for an intro, like where it's just the cars taking off, you feel like a bit lost. Like maybe you're not in the right place because you clicked on a thumbnail with like this engine on it, and you feel like you're gonna learn something about the cars, and you feel like, well, maybe I'm in the wrong place. I'll just let this play silently in the background for a sec.
Yeah. Again, if the video is about racing, then cool. But the title is talking about a particular Mustang, which I'm guessing is one of the cars racing. But in the first 30 seconds, we get no context about the Mustang or no information about that particular Mustang. What are we doing here? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe like, because I kind of felt like I'd be willing to give it a bit of a chance. I agree. Like at some point we need to talk about the car, right? Because that's what I clicked on. What I was thinking was that the intro may be a little bit long, because there is that anticipation building up of the car is about to take off, right? But imagine if as soon as you click the video, the cars were already kind of launching off, and then they start to fade into the distance, and the announcer, the commentator comes in and says, so the car that just won or the car that just lost is a blah blah blah, and we're going to be actually looking at that, and I can't wait because XYZ. So do you feel like if they did it that way, that might have like made you feel like, okay, I'm in the right place?
Yeah, some type of context as to what's going on in front of me. I need some type of context. And this is not just for the video. I feel like this for videos in general. If you're how can I talk today? If your video has a premise, within the first 30 seconds, when I click on the video, I need to know what's going on. I need to feel like I'm in the right spot. I need to feel like I know what the video is going to bring me. I need to understand what the value proposition of the video is. And when you have cold intros like this that don't really tell me nothing, it just doesn't, or it doesn't explain what's happening, because you don't always have to be verbal about it either. Some people do it via text. So there are different ways to go about relaying that context. I just need something to explain what's happening.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think you're probably onto something there. Of course, this user has access to their retention data. so they can see if people, if click off quickly, which might make sense, because we do have a picture here of just an engine. We're not very clear on what it is in the picture. The title gives us a little more context there. So yeah, just have to kind of keep in mind when people click, they're not getting like what they expected when they kind of clicked in. What I want to say on the other side of this, like, I feel like this channel has access to something that a lot of people don't have access to, because not only were you there watching as a participant, but you were like close to the starting line. So maybe you have some kind of VIP access, but then also you're in the garages where these cars are prepping and like getting ready for their races. So you can like talk to the people while they're working on their cars and like get some good sound bites, get some interviews of them, and you get really up close and personal with, what I imagine to people who are fans of this is like porn to them, car porn. Look at this. It's just getting to see like all these intricate details, up close, which is really cool. Like having this access is going to, I think, help set you apart, on YouTube. So the other thing I was going to say, though, is once I got to this point, I want to talk about the audio real quick.
Mustang. What can you tell me, Manny, about the car?
Well, basically, it's my old Super Street All-Out car from 25 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got a lot of history. We won a lot of championships with it. The solo motor, Mark Mickey tranny, and the chassis is 25 years old.
It's difficult because they're in a garage. What do you think about the audio?
Yeah, it would help if they have some type of noise reducing microphone or wind reducing microphone or something like that.
Yeah. Something maybe can be done. Maybe not a whole lot, and you can still hear them clearly, which is good. But I would be, as an incremental improvement, I might be looking at like, maybe there's opportunities sometimes to take the person you're interviewing and like pull them out of the garage. And what you do is you shoot the B-roll separately. So what we're seeing right now is the B-roll. You would put this person on camera, that'd be the A-roll. So they'd be like, so this is my car, the chassis is 25 years old, blah, 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 blah. And then as they're talking about the different parts, like we have this intake and we have this and this and this, that's when you're showing the B-roll that you took earlier of the car itself, or later, whichever order you get to it in. That could help with your audio issues if you just like get away from the noise that's in there. But I say audio issues. I think for me, this is kind of a nitpick considering the environment you're working in. It's not, and sometimes the people are busy, like they don't have time to walk with you 10 feet away or 20 feet away and like get to a quiet place and do like a proper interview. So you may not have that luxury all the time.
Yeah, to be clear, the audio in this video is not bad, but it could use some noise reduction for sure.
Yeah. So I really appreciate the work this creator is doing. It does seem like, again, that access that you have and the fact that you're like going in and getting interviews of the people racing, like this is really cool. This is something that I think a lot of people who are fans of drag racing would really, really get into. Yep. The only other thing I'll say is that I think, some of these videos did better than others, and I'd be looking at like, so this stream got 22,000 views. Like that's for a stream that's now a VOD. That's wow. I'd be looking at, what did you do differently? The thumbnail's quite different than what you've done in other more recent videos. It's a little more clear. Even the short form video you made at a similar time, similar thumbnail, has really good views compared to like some of the videos we're seeing up here. So go through your top performing videos and try to really pick them apart and determine like, what's working for those that I might not be doing in my videos that aren't performing as well.
Good advice. Before we move on, Dan, can we talk about this poll that you just submitted up here?
Yes. So we have a poll running right now about intros, and it looks like the majority of you, 35%, voted for intros that are 1 to 5 seconds. You feel like your intros to your videos are 1 to 5 seconds long. I'm honestly shocked at how many people voted the 16 plus second, which was only 13% so far out of almost 1,000 votes.
I would even go so far to say that 39% of you all are doing it wrong. Okay. If your intro is longer than 6 seconds, you are doing it wrong, in my opinion. Unless, because I know me and Dan, we've talked about them before, unless your video is done in such a way where there needs to be an extended intro, then you got to do what you got to do. But generally speaking, the intro should be 5 seconds or less. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say yes. I think generally that's like a good rule of thumb. Especially if you're not sure. Like, oh, how long should my intro be? If you're not sure, you should definitely be in here somewhere. I was gonna say though, we did see his channel earlier where we felt like the intro was good. Like it was telling us all about the game, right? It was Stray, and it was telling us like, okay, well, Stray is this, for people who've never played it before. It was about 30 seconds.
Mhm.
And I do feel like we've seen a lot of videos that have been here, and more often than not, we give the advice that your intro's kind of long. But the reason I put this poll up is because I wanted to see the diversity here in the results. I don't know if there is, for me, like a right or wrong answer because it just depends on so many factors. I'm a fan of short intros. I like when people get right into the content, but I think the word intro is subjective too, right? Like I did an intro to this live stream that you could argue was a bit long, but it's kind of all part of the process of like prepping and like getting people in the door because the number you can see on the graph here. I'm doing my intro in here and we're trying to get the numbers more stable. Like we know that this is about where we're going to sit today. So I'm trying to get to this point and I want as many people in the door when we do that first channel as possible. So there is a bit of like, hey, let's like banter a little bit. Like it's all planned out, right? So this was a much longer than 16-second intro for me. And in this case, I feel it was justified because of the type of content we're making.
So on this very live stream, on the Wednesday live stream, we used to have a musical intro. And Dan decided to exnate it, and we have not gone back to it since. So why have we not had the music anymore, Dan? I don't know.
And that's the thing. Like it's almost, I feel like the music was two intros. There's the countdown intro of the music, and then there's me coming on and bantering with you or Rob for a little bit as the other intro. And I felt like we don't need two intros for sure. And part of me just wants to make sure that people who click on this live stream after it's a VOD especially know that they've clicked on the right thing. The guy whose face popped up, this weird hairy dude popped up and said they're going to look at my videos. And that's what I'm here for. I want to know what people think about my videos. And that's like the most important thing. I think people need to feel like they're in the right place when they click on your videos.
So when I'm on these live streams and I'm giving you all audits and critiques and whatever, I'm doing it from the perspective of a viewer. Now, I am a creator, so I have unique insight into the processes that we as creators go through because I've been a creator for almost 5 years now. But when I'm on this channel doing my job, I'm doing my job as a viewer because that is what is going to help you all most. I want you to know how a viewer thinks when you are creating your content so you can optimize your content at best for you and the viewer. But ultimately, what we do has to be with the viewer in mind. Now, I did a tweet a while back, and I think it said something to the extent of your content is not about what you want, it's about what your viewer want, and some people took that the wrong way. I'm not saying that you can't make the content that you love or you shouldn't have fun making content. All I'm telling you is that when you craft your content and you make your videos, you have to make them with the viewer in mind because you're not making them for yourself. Otherwise, why are you on YouTube? You can just watch your own videos. So I'm going to assume that if you're uploading videos to YouTube, you want people to watch. And my job is to get as many people to watch your videos as possible. And that's why I approach it as a viewer, because I want you guys to optimize your content to get the most watch.
Yeah. Well said. So what we're going to do is look at another channel. I've updated the claw already, and we're picking a gaming channel this time. 331. Okay, I was afraid you were going to do that, claw. We're not quite there yet, so let's just do 297. Someone who just submitted, like, they're never going to pick me. I only just got here. I don't know. I barely know what this channel's about, and I've submitted my channel. There's no way they're going to pick me, and we're picking you anyway. Mock for games, or MOK for games. Could be all kinds of things. So tis a gaming channel. Looks like League of Legends. So it's going to be a League of Legends channel. Let's take a look at. This is Watch Your Mouth, Kids. So just in case there's like profanity in that one, maybe.
Damn, like I'm not touching that.
Yeah, maybe not that one. Let's see. Finally, a good team. That one's like 3 minutes long. Let's see. I'm going to mute it because I don't think that music is in League of Legends. I think that's like a Mario. Oh, they've kind of mixed it. I'm just confused. All right. So we're about 25 seconds in. I'm keeping it on muted for a sec. What are you thinking?
I don't know what's the thing. Like I'm just watching a bunch of gameplay, and I don't know if that's like chat on screen. What is all that text on the screen? Is that chat or is that something in the game? I don't know.
There's chat here, and then
Oh,
there
okay.
are some stats on the side. I'm guessing it's just all League of Legends like stuff, UI stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Again, I have no context. I just see a gameplay. There's no narration. There's no text telling me what's going on. What is the purpose of the game? Are you just playing? Are you trying to show us something? Like, where's the context? There's just nothing there for me.
Yeah, there's this kind of like thing we've been seeing with a couple gaming channels today where it's just kind of gameplay with no commentary, and there's this expectation that the viewer is going to not only understand exactly what's going on without any host in the video, but also like be able to follow it, so they know what's going on and then they can follow it at the same time. I don't play League of Legends, so what's hard for me is I don't even know which character is yours. It's more of a me problem, not so much a you problem. But at no point do we hear like, we don't hear like a host come on the video and say like, oh my gosh, like I got so many bad teams. Like this is the first team I've played with that's like really good. Like anything reinforcing this title. I know that the idea is you would just watch and see, oh, it must be a good team because they're winning. But then I ask like, well, why am I watching? This seems like really good news for you, but since there's no like real intrigue here, in terms of like maybe you won by an obscene amount of points, maybe maybe you have a tip for getting hooked up with a good team. Like there's just not much there for the audience to cling on to. So there is that like disconnect, like just kind of like posting the video and going, look at me, look at what I did. And that's going to be, I think, my critique here. And I'm kind of wondering, are all of your videos, like if we do a 10-minute, that's a montage. So this is just unbench the Kench. I don't know what that is. Just some gameplay, I think, again. Yeah. I would like to see a personality on this channel. I want to see someone take me through what I'm supposed to be kind of like looking at.
Yep. All right. All right. While we cycle to the next video, I want to go back to the intro talk real quick. So, in the late 80s, early 90s, when you were watching your favorite TV show, they would start the TV show with an intro, or usually with an intro song or whatever, and they would go through the credits of all the people that were involved with making the show. And then sometime in the late 90s, like 2000, that changed. Instead of starting off the show with the intro song and the credits and whatnot, they went straight into the show. The moment that show was on, boom, you went straight into the show, and then maybe 5 or 10 minutes into it, you got a title card or a title thing. I don't know why Hollywood changed that format, but I would guess it's for retention. That'd be my guess. Dan, you have any insight onto why that changed? I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I like these days, those shows I'm thinking about. So like you have a show like Westworld, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the cold open, I think you would call that a cold open when there's no intro and it literally the show just starts. There's characters, there's things happening, there's dialogue. Sometimes these cold opens, like I've seen shows where the cold open is like 10 minutes long and you don't even realize you haven't seen an intro yet. And that's how like I feel like most TV shows are now.
Yep.
And I feel like the intro game has been stepped up significantly. Like the intro to Westworld has very memorable, haunting music with like really amazing, stunning visuals. Another one that's really good is Severance, the Apple TV show. Like the incredible intro that tells a story. After I've seen it once, though, I tend to skip it every time. And now we have skip intro buttons. That's like the from this decade. That's like the new thing is everything has a skip intro button.
Yep.
So there's like this respect for the viewer that Hollywood's adopting and that a lot of YouTubers are adopting. And that's kind of why we go on and on and on about this, because a lot of YouTubers don't respect their viewers' time. Like, because you're not Westworld and you don't have a skip intro option, like people don't know how long this is going to go. You know, sometimes they're very self-serving, that people are very just into talking about before we get into the video, I'm going to tell you a couple different random stories that happened to me this week. You know, we're like, but I clicked on a video about cleaning my house. You know, I don't really care what you got up to before you cleaned the house.
You know what happens on YouTube, right, Dan? Because there's no skip intro button, they're going to skip your video.
Yes, there is a skip intro button. For some people, it's right up here. For some people, it's over here. When you click this button, it's pretty cool. It just goes to the home page, and there's all kinds of videos. So yeah, there are skip intro buttons, but they have this really bad effect where the video you were watching disappears at the same time. Poof. So yes, be very careful with stuff like that. All right, so we're over 300 responses on the forum now. I think we can keep it to 350. Yep, we sure can. All right. Number 8 on the non-gaming forum. Look at that. Look at the claw being generous to the folks who submitted earlier. All right. So they said they're a reaction channel, and it was about photos before. I'm not sure. It feels a bit vague, photos, but they've pivoted is what they want us to know. So we're going to focus on the pivot that you've made now. It looks like they're reacting to Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, yeah. You are speaking vibrant language, baby. Let's go.
All right, so we'll check out the latest one.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 1.
Let me rewind it.
Today I'm watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 1 episode 8. I Robot You Jane, which I think is a Tarzan reference.
Let me go, I can't bear this.
But I have no idea how the hell they're going to incorporate a robot into that and what either one of those things has to do with this Buffy universe. Cortona, Italy, 1418.
T'adoro tutto. Tutto quello che desidero. Il tuo.
That's 30 seconds.
What in the hell is that?
I don't know.
That is not the Buffy I was thinking about. What is going on here? And why?
I kind of wonder if did they look up the reference and then they're just reacting to like what the title of the I don't know.
Where is the English? Also, what is going on around here?
What do you mean?
Like the actual content, the show is in a different language. Why?
Well, it's like an alien or something.
Yeah, but he's speaking in not English. Why?
Right. Well, the aliens don't know English.
Nobody in Buffy speaks in a different language, Dan. They all speak English.
Well, there's captions.
Yeah, but why? But why is this particular version not in English? And
I don't know. It's not his fault.
Where is he pulling in content from? With my question, like, what is going on?
I don't know. I am confused. Is there like is there an older Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No, we're talking about the show that came out in 97 with Sarah Michelle Gellar, which is what this is. It looks like actually it looks like what it is, but I'm trying to figure out why is it in this language that's not English. I'm so confused with this.
The Corruptor, he walks again. Isn't Moloch what people sacrifice babies to?
Eternal flame. Once again.
Well, I don't know. I don't know the source material at all, so I can't say one way or another what's going on in the frame on the left. I have plenty to say about like this person's actual like presentation though. So just assuming that this makes sense to the regular viewer, Viper, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I like the fact that he gets into it pretty quickly. He gives us his brief little like take or synopsis or whatever, and then he gets into the episode. What I don't like is what is this language thing going on? I'm not understanding why we have subtitles are fine, but I'm not understanding why the actual show is not in English. I'm confused. He's speaking English, so clearly he's an English speaker. So why is he using content that is not in English? I'm so confused.
I do feel like this must be part of the show. Let's see. I'm gonna skip to later. We're gonna see if this changes.
Murder. Willow, axe murdered by a circus freak. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Jump into some conclusions.
Everything's okay.
So what the hell was that at the beginning?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't watch the show. I have no idea. I don't watch Buffy, and I don't watch whatever that was if it was a different show.
Okay, so earlier in this live stream, you talked about when you're doing a reaction and you don't think that it's a good idea to just have the whole content playing straight through.
Yeah.
I like what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's not letting it play all the way through. He's chopping it up and reacting to certain parts of the content. And I think that's definitely a much safer way to do it. So I do like the fact that he's doing it that way instead of just letting everything play and then reacting as everything's playing. Because sometimes when you try to react as everything is playing, you end up talking over the actual content, and then you don't understand what's going on because you got the content audio, you got your audio, and it's match and jumble. So he's stopping it and putting his 2 cents in, and then he lets the content keep playing after he finishes and explaining his point. I like that fact. I like how he's doing that.
I do too. I like that a lot. And I also like everything about their setup. Like, this is super professional, super high quality, definitely not their first rodeo. They've been doing this a while, and it shows. I think your backdrop is really elegant and nice. I dig the purple a lot. And I think that just your overall presentation, your sense of humor, both in the way you just talk and then the way that you present the content itself. I think both of those are on point. I think like you have a very unique personality and it shines through. This is the result of somebody like being comfortable in their own skin when they're on camera. And like, this is what can happen like when you're fully yourself on YouTube. So from that perspective, I don't have any like, I don't know. It's hard to give advice. Like, you're even getting, this is a very old show and you're getting like really respectable views on it, I would say. Now, maybe you may not feel that way considering where you're at subscriber wise. Like, a lot of these land under 1,000 views. But what I'm saying is I'm really impressed by how many people are coming to watch reactions to such an old, well-known, but old show.
Dan, this is an iconic show. Watch your mouth, Dan.
I get it, but it also, things age, and that's not like a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, the people who have reacted to this show probably did so a very long time ago, and people who watch this show probably did so a very long time ago. Now, maybe the reason you've picked it more recently in the last 4 months is maybe it came to Netflix or something. Maybe it's available on a new service, and that's why now you're reacting to it.
I do have one slight critique about the way he does in content, though. Can we go back to the video?
Just a different one?
Any of them.
Just not this one with the aliens and the language and the...
Hello, beautiful people.
Okay, pause it right here. Why do you have your channel name and all that stuff underneath you? Like, you like, why? I don't understand that. You don't need that there.
I see what you're saying. So it's covered up right now here.
And today we're watching
Cult of the
Buffy
Couch.
Vampire
And it's that way through the whole video, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, it does seem like it's not. It still works with the framing of the shot and everything like that. It doesn't feel necessarily needed. Given that everything else about their editing is on point, I would say this would be, from me at least, a nitpick at best. It's kind of interesting. Maybe in the past they've had people kind of like take their content.
Yeah, I
like
think what's going on. Yeah,
it could be a watermark that is supposed to look not like a watermark, but I could be wrong about that. Yeah, like it's something you don't necessarily need, but something that I don't think for me is hurting anything personally.
No, it's not hurting anything. I was just wondering why it's there. Because I tell you guys all the time, your YouTube channel title is right there. You don't need extra topping. But if it's a stamp thing where you don't want people to take your content, then that's another matter entirely.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we should just see how they're doing outros. Let's check it out.
Funny. It was burning his chest.
Oh, are you live?
Oh.
Interesting. Did it almost seem like he was like communicating with someone in chat? Let me just
kind of.
It doesn't say streamed,
but maybe he did a stream on Twitch and re-uploaded it to YouTube.
Yeah.
Look, what's going on?
See you around?
Chest to chest with him.
It could just be like commentating. Maybe we're just don't have the full context. So the way the outro is, you are in a unique position because you know exactly what video is coming out next based on the next episode in the series. You can use that big empty space on the side of your screen. Instead of doing a stag outro, you could say, all right, so next week, episode 8 is what I'm reacting to. And when that's out, I'm going to put it right here. So you can just click on it right when it comes out, kind of like remind people, you can see my next reaction video, just click here. So you can really use that last few seconds, that end screen. You did a good job of not doing an outro, right? Just kind of like cut out of the video. But I'm saying you can use that space to get people to watch another video.
No, he's in the chat. He said no, he was just reacting to himself. Okay, cool.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
I know we're not doing channel audit, but the only other thing that I would say about, especially as it relates to the Buffy thumbnails, is that you might want to consider making the Buffy characters bigger and you smaller, because they are well known. Like, if people look at that thumbnail, they will know who's in the thumbnail immediately. So they should be the centerpiece of your thumbnail. But that's more of a nitpick. But everything else, good looking.
Yeah. So I'm just looking through the library of content. It looks like you took like you started with your photography video. You kept this one because it's probably because it has a lot of views, and then jumped to doing reactions. And if I'm to put my channel auditing hat on, as Viper has for a moment, I would say be careful with this right here, this video. I'm only saying that because while it may be a very valuable and or interesting video, if it's getting views today, what we don't want to have happen is people subscribe to your channel expecting to see more product photography videos and then get reactions to TV shows. So look at your data. You have access to this, and determine for yourself, do you feel like that's happening? Do you feel like people are coming to your channel? This is like the big entry point for a lot of your new viewers, and they're being maybe turned away by this content because they subscribe and then you post a new video and it's nothing like what they originally subscribed for.
I don't know, Dan. That's a 7-year-old video.
It is, but it was kept up here and has a lot of views. So, I mean, we can even check this. Let me look. So today, it does not seem like it's bringing in much, if any, traffic. So for that reason, you may as well just leave it.
Yeah.
So there you go. vidIQ tools for you.
Great. Nice channel, man. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, this is awesome. The only other thing I was going to say is, like, have you done a recent show? I don't know The Haunting of Hill House. Maybe it's recent. Squid Game is definitely a little more recent. And it did decent. Maybe it didn't do decent like right away. Let's also check.
Red light.
Interesting. Okay, so yeah, view per hour wise. So over time, yeah, it definitely picked up, which is very, very interesting. I kind of wonder if this is something when season 2 comes out, you could be on it, like in the first days of season 2. I would kind of expect a channel like this to want to cover more recent content, especially like as it's coming out. Like you could almost anticipate a Game of Thrones reaction now, like on the newest season, like that's starting out. And every time an episode comes out, you're reacting to it. So yeah, there could be some opportunities, but that may be just a personal preference.
Oh, Danny gave away all the goods right there.
All right, so we're over 350 on this. We're gonna let these responses keep rolling in for a minute. We're gonna come back to those. I want to tell you about Creep. Creep has earned half of their entire subscriber count in 28 days' time. 7,026 subscribers. And the reason this is significant is because Creep happened to post this in a private Discord known as our vidIQ Max Discord. And we have a channel in there just about bragging about stuff. A lot of channels in there, a lot of really valuable advice, but sometimes we're like, hey, sometimes you want to brag, come brag here. And I grabbed this picture because that is incredibly insane growth. Imagine doubling your subscriber count for your whole channel in a month's time when you're already at a respectable number. That is just shout out to Creep. Like, congrats. That's awesome. Creep has decided to invest in themselves by joining vidIQ Max, which is our group coaching program. The way it works is that every 2 weeks, there is a sit-down discussion with our YouTube coaches about various topics. They have a lot of different guests, including we had one from an actual YouTube employee. We had an actual YouTube employee come in and give advice, stuff that you can't get anywhere else about the YouTube algorithm and how it all works. And then, just for fun, they stuck around in the Discord and to this day are still answering questions from viewers in that private Discord. It is absolutely bonkers how quickly Max has grown and how quickly the creators in Max have grown. So we just wanted to call this out real quick because there is actually a special offer right now. There is a bit of a discount. It's not going to last long. I want to make sure I click the right button here. So you can get, I believe, I want to say this the right way. So you can save $300 if you buy an annual plan right now. That's compared to paying monthly. You can save $300 if you use the promo code that we have below for you. So it is scrolling there on the bottom of the screen. We're going to leave it for a bit. You can click the link or you can use the code that is in the description and you can join vidIQ Max at a reduced rate. This is an investment in yourself, an investment in your future on YouTube. Take your channel from hobby to business with vidIQ Max.
So the number one critique I get or I see every time we talk about this is it's too expensive or vidIQ is too expensive, this, that, and the other. And I understand that you can't afford to I understand if you can't afford it or whatever. But what I would tell you is that if you want to grow on YouTube and you want to grow your channel and become a better creator, at some point it is inevitable you will have to spend money. There is no way around it. So maybe it won't be with vidIQ Max or vidIQ in general, but if you want to grow on YouTube, just understand that you will have to spend money at some point. There is no way around it.
So there you go. We have our next gaming channel that's submitted. It's Josky VR. So I'm interested. The VR gaming channel. Don't see a lot of these. Can be a really good way to set yourself apart. So it looks like they're playing a game called Rec Room. I've not tried Rec Room. I'm vaguely familiar with it.
Yeah, I think it's a VR game.
Yeah. And they've made a listicle here. You have to play these 5 games in Rec Room. All right, let's check it out.
These are the top 5 Rec Room games you have to play. These 5 games are from 5 different categories. Hashtag fun, hashtag horror, hashtag RP, hashtag Rec Room original, and hashtag art. We will go through them and rate them one by one. Don't forget to subscribe so I can hit that 1K, and without waiting any longer, let's go! Okay, we're gonna start with hashtag fun. For hashtag fun, we chose Plates of Doom Eternal. And if you ask yourself why I'm saying we, that's because I made this video with Clement. His channel is in the description. About his...
All right, so that's 30 seconds. It's a 3-minute listicle. Top 5 games that they feel you should be playing in Rec Room. What do you think?
I'm not gonna go too deep into this nitpick, but you did misspell through. It's something that I've done a few times in video myself, so you got to make sure you be careful to check things like that when you are in your editing phase. The other thing is that there is way too much tech in the first 30 seconds of the video. I understand like wanting to use text on your video to like highlight certain points, but every single thing you say is text. That you're doing too much. That's what captions are for. You don't need that. Like especially if it's jumping in your face. Like I feel like I'm reading a movie in a different language at that point. So tone down on the text. I'll try to limit its use to like very important like highlights or things you want to emphasize. You don't need every word that you say to be converted into text on here.
I think I would generally agree. It looks like they have captioned their entire video this way. I'm going to blame TikTok and YouTube Shorts for this trend.
Yeah.
Which for those platforms, it makes sense because a lot of people watch this on mute. I think for someone sitting down watching a long form video, you can get away with, I feel like this is a lot of work, and good on you for doing it. But I do feel like, especially while you're trying to show us the game itself, like if I skip ahead a little bit, you're telling me to play this game and you're telling me it's fun. But in order to see the text, you've blurred the background and you've put this text over the very middle of the screen where you can see gameplay happening in the background, but it's like there's like a character there, there's a menu that popped up, and you really made this video like all about, you made the text the star of the video in that way. I get it for the intro. A lot of creators do that, but to have it throughout the entire thing, I'm not getting the value I kind of came for. You know what I mean? Like it's supposed to be a game about, or a video about games that you should try, and I'm not seeing the gameplay because you've continued to kind of blur it in the background so the text is more readable. So good advice there, good call out. Good on you for the editing, but I think you can save yourself a lot of time in editing by not doing the captions throughout, and then you can focus on some other different edits. I'm gonna say that the intro to this, overall, ignoring the text though, assuming that let's just say like that's fixed now. Not that it's broken, but you know what I mean. Let's just assume that's been changed. The intro is like a solid almost like 30 seconds, about 25 seconds or so before we start to see any like gameplay. So you did make sure we can hit that 1K, subscribe. I would save this for the end. It just kind of added to your intro, and this was the point in the intro where I felt like, okay, but let's do it now. So that's that's one thing I would say. I think it's the intro is just a bit long, but I do appreciate that you broke it into categories and things like that. I like that you explained what was going on. I'm personally against the, I'm trying to hit a subscriber goal, so just subscribe for that reason kind of call outs.
Yep.
Okay. Other than that, yeah, like I think this is great, really strong start. You have a VR channel, which is something that not a lot of people can say. So that is awesome, and you're getting some really good views. Especially you got views in the thousands here, doing different skits and things like that, which is excellent. So I do think you're going to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. I just think that some different things could be changed about your content and just take it to that next level. All right.
Keep doing your thing.
So that was gaming channel. We're going to look now at the next non-gaming channel. And that is going to be 104, channel 104 on the non-gaming form. All right. And it's going to be photography and adventure. Interesting. Okay. Those things feel like they go hand in hand. Capturing Alaska. Okay. Why don't we take a look at the latest one here?
In this video, I'm going to show you everything a professional photographer needs for nature photography, starting off with the number one thing every photographer needs. Is the thing I literally never use. This guy. You know how many times I use a tripod for landscape photography? Never. Unless it has water in it, literally never use it. But it's good to have, especially if I do some videos. So before Shane picks me up, we're going out with Sergius and his girlfriend. Try to get some bear photography today. Before he picks me up.
So it's 30 seconds.
Okay. I don't know if you noticed, but I had to lift my glasses up to see if I was seeing it correctly. But the picture, the image quality, I don't know what camera they're using, but whatever profile, log, whatever you're using is way too dark and muted.
It does look log. Yeah, it looks very log.
Yeah, the image quality is just not up there, man. It's not doing you any favors. So I would look into changing that. The other thing is, and this is less of a concern for me, but for me, there's a little bit too much movement in the shot. I don't know if you're not using a stabilizer or a gimbal or something, but you might want to consider looking into those because and maybe that's the effect that you were going for, but it's just in my opinion, just a tad. It's not too overbearing, but it's a tad, little bit too much movement going on in these shots. Like the whole the intro camera is going one way, this way, that way. I'm like, you need to tone that down just a little bit. But other than that, I didn't really have a problem with it.
Yeah. So I like the title that you chose for this video, and I do. You could argue, oh, long intro, blah 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 blah. I think for the style of video, this actually works pretty well. Like just telling a story. I can tell that you're kind of doing a day in the life style. Also valuable video about gear you need, and you did kind of show some gear too. I'm going to use this today, and I think that's pretty cool. So I think for those reasons, yeah, the vlog style is working. But I would agree with both Viper's points. I think maybe this is a look you're going for, and it could just need some tweaking. It's just that the light on the background is brighter than the light on you in a lot of these shots, in a lot of different scenes that we're seeing around your property. And so it's drawing even more attention to just how dark the overall footage is and how muted it is. And I think that you can achieve a look similar to this while also making you pop from the background. And I'm not a professional photographer. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know all the terms and all the things. But I do think that even if you just had a light mounted on your camera or something just to help, that could have made a huge difference here. So I guess the concern is the whole video like this? And it does feel like it. It does feel like the sky is always brighter than the people in the video. I mean, this is a really cool shot here. I would still say a bit dark. I think the video itself is just kind of dark.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is obviously way more later in the day, a lot brighter. So this works a lot better. I think the whole video though should look like this. And they found bears too. They said we were going to see some bear photography, and later in the video we did get it. I kind of wonder if you could like use that as like a teaser while you're doing your intro, you know, because you did say you're going to try. You could definitely try and fail, but it looks like that paid off at some point. So it could be something to think about adding to your intro as well. You are in a gorgeous area. This is again one of those things where like for being on YouTube, if you have a unique skill or a unique location that you could take advantage of, that is definitely going to help set you apart. So I see promising things and opportunities.
What did you think about all the movement in the first 30 seconds, though?
I would agree. I think it does kind of like
pod for landscape photography.
It does kind of feel a little bit, whoa, you know, like us as viewers kind of getting taken for a ride a little bit. A gimbal would obviously make that better, but like you can feel all of their movements as they're like talking with their hands and holding the camera with the other hand. You just, the way to see that really clearly is to watch the edges of the screen. You can just kind of see just how shaky it is at times.
What the term for that in photography? What is it called? I can't think of the term offhand.
That B-roll was smooth like butter. That was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty cool. I think there's definitely some stuff to kind of work with there. But yeah, I just don't know if that particular style worked super well for me for YouTube. And the thing to know about YouTube, I don't know if it's still this way, but as a gaming channel, like I experience this a lot. If you ever stream or play your video game and it's nighttime in the game, that tends to be 10 times darker to the audience watching. You know, like for you, it's lit properly, but YouTube compresses everything. You know, so it fits more cleanly on YouTube and doesn't take as much space. And what that tends to do is just make all of the shadows like even more shadowy. And so I've been playing games like Minecraft at night and people are like, I can't see anything that's happening, you know? And when I play Minecraft, I tend not to use like a ton of torches. So I just kind of like, you know, play the game, and it turns out to be really dark on YouTube, even though I can see it pretty well. Oh, and then Chris Luck Photo is here and says, that's me. The bear stuff is an older video. I should have referenced in the video. I didn't, to be fair, I didn't listen to that part. So I was hoping that was in that video, but either way, it was a great shot. So I definitely would have included it. But as long as you were in the video saying like this shot here or something to say that was older, I'm listening to it on mute, so I'm not getting the full story. So maybe the context was clear to the viewer there. But great channel. I think this is really cool. I think you have some really unique opportunities here. And yeah, just looking forward to seeing where this channel can go.
Indeed.
All right. We'll take a look at the forums first. And we are still within the clause scope here. Number 2 on the gaming. What? So, okay. All right. Number 2. All things FIFA shorts. So it looks like this is going to be FIFA, the video game, and shorts of it. Oh, and welcome to YouTube. 12 days ago they started. They got 5 subscribers already. And let's just take a look at the latest one from 7 hours ago. This song is definitely used in like a lot of shorts.
Yep.
It's very short.
What was the... Wait a minute.
I don't know what we're looking at. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I don't know the point of the video. Like what? Oh, okay. I see it. Yellow card. Okay.
Yeah, so at the end it said yellow card. So I guess something happens here.
Yeah, the slide and tackle was illegal. Okay. See, the problem is that it's so small you can't even see that. You gotta figure out a way to like highlight that.
Yeah, I would have done it this way, and then I would have zoomed in and slow mode it just a little bit so that we can more clearly see, because I was looking up here, like my eye line is more in this section, and I wasn't looking. You have text covering what's happening almost, so I wasn't really looking to see what was going on.
The other thing is, I don't know if this footage belongs to this creator. I think the creator is getting this footage from somewhere else.
It's possible. I would hope that this is like footage from their own gameplay, but perhaps you definitely want to be adding like your own take to this. I think this is like a good conversation. There's a good point in today's stream to talk about shorts a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
These things that Viper and I are picking out right now are things that viewers of shorts are not going to take the time to pick apart.
No.
If someone scrolls to this short on the shorts feed, right? You take your thumb and you're just scrolling through shorts. And this comes up with familiar music, music that a lot of videos use for silly moments, but it's so unclear what's happening. They're not going to stick around to kind of see. They're probably just going to continue swiping. And I think that's why we're seeing only 3 likes, not a lot of views, not a lot of engagement, because it's so quick what happens, and you didn't do the work to like ensure that the viewer had the context they needed to see what you were trying to get them to see. So shorts, I would say that editing on shorts is oftentimes like the biggest problem I see with YouTube shorts, especially for newer creators, is that they don't respect the editing process as much. They're not going in and like doing that extra bit of work to make sure the short is a pleasure to watch, and that really needs to be, that cannot be understated. That really needs to be a focus for editing shorts.
I would almost argue that you have to do more editing on short than long form content.
Yes. That's, in so many words, that is exactly what I'm trying to say. You have to, relatively speaking, you need to do more editing on these shorts. So when I say relatively speaking, I mean, if you make a 4-second video and you make it widescreen, like you would a normal video, you're not going to spend as much time on that as you are with the short version of it, a vertical version of it, because there's such less real estate to work with on the screen. We've lost, there's supposed to be video here and here, my cursor is, and that's not here. So you have to do even more work to make sure that whatever's happening right off to the side is easy to see. So yeah, shorts, do not underestimate editing in YouTube shorts. And I think that's what happened here. It's just, we like shorts short, right? We want them to loop. We want people to watch them a few times, but you've kind of like made it a little too short. We only because we don't see what's happening. Like you have this text that comes up, and so it's like something happened, and then you put the subscribe button. But another thing is that you already have this. YouTube put a red subscribe button for you, and it's on all your shorts, and it's on all devices. So get rid of that too, because a lot of people use that, and it almost just kind of signals the end of a video, and people like swipe away. Like there's not any reason for it. It feels like I had to put this up as quickly as possible because I'm trying to get subscribers. That's kind of what it looks like, given what we just saw.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be mean, but we just want to see some improvements the next time. This is, wait a minute. Okay, so hey guys, this is when, would it be like when the opposition scores? Opposition scores be like. So the text is coming on the screen, but it's so fast it's hard to read. And then you see something, so you see a ball come out of nowhere and someone makes contact with it barely, and then it loops. No subscribe call to action, so I appreciate that. But yeah, you really got to think about this coming up in like the shorts feed and what this looks like. And I'm going to bring this up again. So when I click on shorts here, you're going to notice something right away. I didn't pick this. All I did was get into the shorts player, and this is how it works on all devices. If you click on shorts, YouTube's going to be like, I don't know, this one? And you're like, no, and you scroll. Okay, this one? Nah, this one? Maybe this one for me. Oh no. See, YouTube knows what I like. But see how many things I scrolled through, and just I gave them barely a second to survive before I swiped again. And that's how people, in my opinion, view YouTube shorts. So you have to make sure that I can understand what's going to happen the second I scroll to it. Like this one was great because look how like this person without any sound is trying to demonstrate that no matter what distance you drop a cat from, it will land on its feet. It could be 2 inches and it will flip around in, faster than you can blink and land on its feet. And that's just hilarious and impressive to me. And then they tried it with a dog, and it did not work. So like everything is like working for a short like this. And this is why when you're going to make shorts, I don't care what niche you're in, You have to do this research. Just watch some shorts, but make a note every single time you stop scrolling and ask yourself, wait a minute, why did I scroll through 10 shorts, but I stopped on this one? What was it about this short that made me stop? And do that for like an hour, do that for 2 hours, and then look at your notes. Every one you stopped on. Was it the intro? Was it what bit of intrigue? Like, be detailed in your notes. What bit of intrigue made you stop? It was a short about what? About cats landing on its feet. Like, okay, how did I know that? Well, the guy was holding an upside down cat, and it had like a little thing underneath, and it said wait. You know, it got me to stop because it also said wait. Like, take really detailed notes and then just go through them at the end of that 2 hours and say like, okay, like, for me, if my gaming videos, like, they need to have elements from all of these shorts that I saw today. Trust me, like, that is going to make you better at creating shorts. It's going to make you a better storyteller, and that translates to YouTube long form videos too. You can do the same thing with long form videos, and suddenly you're finding yourself think about these details that viewers who've never met you before are considering when they click on your videos or they go into the short shelf. Like, no matter what you're making, like, this is the kind of thing that I feel like helped enhance my ability to tell a story in my editing.
And no matter what platform you choose to be a creator on, you got to do studying. You got to do research on what's working for that platform, what works for you as a viewer. Figure out what is working, what you are resonating with, so you could take that and apply it to your own content. That's how you learn.
Mm-hmm. All right. We call it doing the work.
Literally.
I'm going to reset the claw. I'm going to say like 90. And we are going to pick number 333 from the non-gaming form. K-pop and anime edits. I do not know how we're going to do a video review of a channel that does K-pop. I don't think we can get away with that. They are doing shorts. Let's look at the latest one, but if it's very music heavy, we may be limited into what we can say here. I feel like it's music heavy.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just let it play for a little bit, and I'm going to unmute it periodically. Okay. I'm trying. So there's some text at the bottom that's really kind of hard to read, but I think this is the video. It's a montage of maybe a music video or a few music videos, and there's some red text at the bottom that I would say is kind of hard to read.
Yeah, that red text is not working for me at all.
Yeah. What other than that, what are like your initial thoughts here?
I was wondering if the red text was lyric or whatever they were thinking. But I don't know. But I agree with you. It's hard to read. Like, you need to change the font and the color. Like, the font is weird and the color is not going to work.
Suggested maybe it's a fan-made music video. So content like this, and you may or may not know this already, is going to be something you're not going to be able to monetize. And if that's fine, if you just want a place to like express yourself, that's totally cool. But yeah, it does say FMV, so fan-made music video. It looks like that's pretty much what this channel does, are fan-made music videos. I don't know how much critique I can give on their techniques. I think that red text that they have, I don't know if they're using it in all their videos. It is really hard to read. It's shoved all the way at the bottom of the screen, and it's just very kind of like, well, what is it doing there? It's definitely
somebody in the chat saying it is the lyric, so that makes sense. However, what does not make sense, and what I will critique people, is why, for the love of God, is your banner just the word subscribe? What are we doing here? Like, do you not see that big red button right there? Do y'all not see it? That big red button subscribe is a lot better than you putting it in your banner. Stop doing that, people. You don't need to have a call to action in your banner. Your banner should deliver a value proposition, a reason why people should come back to your channel, or what can they expect for your channel, not asking them to subscribe. Why? Dan, answer me this.
What? Hey, it's the value. That's right. Like, you subscribe, and that's what you.
Oh dear God. Dan, have you ever hit subscribe because of a banner?
No.
Why are you acting like you have? Stop it, Dan.
Yeah, no, I haven't. It's mostly because I can't read, though. That's the problem.
Oh Lord, here you go. Can't take them anywhere.
I think I can't critique too much the actual like video like itself, the fan made music video element of this. And I apologize for that. What I can say though is I feel like given the amount of content they've made at this point, and they've started 5 months ago, this is a pretty strong start. We got views that kind of go over the subscriber count. But by the time I've made this many videos, I would like to see some more exponential results. So I would be going through the communities that make these fan-made music videos and seeing what they're doing, you know, and try to replicate that a little bit more in your content. So if we're doing a channel audit, I would say like, let's see. Let's just keep this simple. So like we got some that are being recycled quite a bit just from hours ago, getting several thousand views. Thumbnails are really strong here. I would be going through this content and I'd be seeing like, okay, so this video got 57,000 views, almost as many as their subscribers from a couple months ago. We can also see like, let's look for ones that are like really pushing it. So at the top here, I'm not really, oh no, here we go. More views than subscribers on this one. So the one I was looking at originally. So yeah, I would be looking at these and seeing, okay, like what are they doing that I'm not doing? You know, like how come they're getting this many views, and really pick it apart. Like it might be just in the editing. It could be this thumbnail. The thumbnail is really clean. And the channel we're looking at, maybe not as much, you know? So just some things to think about. All right. We're going to look at another gaming channel. 141. Right, a tips and tricks channel. And it is 2 videos. Oh, from 2 days ago. Wow. Welcome to YouTube yet again. All right. I guess we'll check out. There's 10 tips here. Solo Cash Cup. 10 tips and tricks you should know.
Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be going over my solo cash cup. I'm going to give you guys 10 tips to improve your own solo cash cups. If you want me to VOD review you, leave your name in the comments below with the place you got and what region you were on. So now let's get into the video. Hey guys, so I have 10 tips for you today. I have 2 early game tips, 4 mid game tips, and 4 late game tips. Let's look at the early game tips first. My first tip is to look for info on other players, and my second tip is to farm hard mats. Let's go over the first tip first.
So 30 seconds in. It looks like Fortnite. I'm going to assume Fortnite. Yeah, but it doesn't say that in the title. What are you thinking?
You told us in the first, I think, 10 or 15 seconds that you were going to tell us the 10 tip for fellow Cash Cup. And then you started by telling us that you're going to tell us tips again. Why? Why are you doing that? Once you tell me the first time that you're going to tell me the tip, just get into the tip. I don't need another introduction about what's going to happen. Just get into it.
Yeah, there were 2 introductions there. I noticed the one I would have kept was right.
So now let's get into the video.
After I said, let's get into the video, I think this is where the video should have started. So a whole 13 seconds cut out of your video. 13 seconds is more than enough time for people to decide whether or not they want to stay or go. And then if there's yet another 13 seconds of you saying basically what you already said, and it's in the title, let's be fair, they clicked on this already, then there's a lot of reason at this point to click away, because it almost feels like, oh my gosh, like I already said yes, I'll do it. So just something to keep in mind. I would have started the video right here. Now you've done 2 videos. This is an incredibly strong start for someone who's made 2 YouTube videos. Like, my goodness, starting your video off, I'm so-and-so, please subscribe, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff is gone. There's none of that. It's just, today I'm going to give you 10 tips. And you said it twice, and we're saying don't do that. But really, other than that, really strong start. You said 2 tips back to back, and you said, let's go over the first tip. And that's about where we stopped. So you're saying you're giving us a couple, you're giving us a tip and then a preview of what's coming next. And then you're going to now dive into an explanation. I think for this video, for 10 tips, 8 minutes is a pretty good length. some work is needed on the titles and thumbnails, this looks like it's from a totally different game. And it says 10 tips in the smallest text possible. So that's a channel I had on for a second. I would definitely be working on your thumbnails, but it looks like you're starting off really strong with some high value content. Your first video getting 15 views in 2 days with no subscribers, 1 subscriber, like that's also a really strong start. Again, thumbnails though, turn this into this. It's hard to see turn what into what. It's really, really, really hard to tell.
Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be bottle reviewing a random player in the most recent solo cash cup, and I'm going to be giving you tips and tricks to help you in your own solo cash cup. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get to it. First, the random number generator, and let's figure out who we're watching.
So this one did not have 2 intros. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, we can't say much. There's 2 videos here, and I think this was a very, very strong start.
Yeah, it's cool. When we have new creators and we end up auditing their channels, and it's clear that they've been watching a lot of vidIQ and they've been taking pointers. That's what we want. There's nothing worse than like you like trying to tell somebody how to do something or give them pointers and then it goes in one end out the other. That's the worst. But I genuinely enjoy when it does appear that you all are taking what we say into to heart and you are implementing it on your channel because we want to see you win. That's why we're here. So kudos to you all for doing that.
Yeah. See a few people asking how to get your channel reviewed. There is a form down below in the description. Sorry for not having said that earlier. I know some of you got here a little bit late, and that is no problem at all. But yes, so we have, as you can see, almost 400 submissions between these 2 forms. So it's about time to update the claw to the number 400 and start the number picker again, where we have 385 on the non-gaming side now. So 385. Someone who submitted very recently. Speak English with this guy. About to hit 10,000 subscribers, so congratulations. It looks like I'm going to assume a channel that helps you learn English. Speak English with this guy. Speak English at a fireworks store. Speak better English now. How to order lunch at an American restaurant. Okay, this is really interesting. What do you think? I kind of like how to order lunch at a restaurant. It has quite a few views from just 6 days ago. And I think this is like a common thing. You know, someone trying to learn a language. This is like a common thing they would need to know.
Yeah, let's do it.
I need a hummus plate.
Okay.
And I need the farmer's market.
Beautiful. Usually Italian vinaigrette comes with that. Is that okay, or would you like a different dressing?
In today's English lesson, you are going to learn how to order food at a restaurant in English. And be confident doing that. You're going to watch me order food in a restaurant, but I parked a little ways down the street. I didn't realize where this restaurant was located, so my car is back.
All right, 34 seconds. What do you think?
So when he was talking to the hostess in the restaurant, I kind of felt like that text as the hostess was talking, we're moving a little bit too fast. You blink, you missed it. So I would say maybe increase the time between the spots where that text appears, so people can read it easier. Other than that, I'm kind of intrigued about how this works because is this like a general language channel? Because I mean, you're teaching people English. Is it like anybody that speaks any language can learn English by watching the channel? I don't know. This is interesting to me because usually when you talk about learning a language, usually you're going from like Spanish to English or French to English. But he's just like, I'm going to teach you how to speak English. Like, okay, but what are we basing this off of? So, but that's just me being confused. But other than that, I kind of like the intro. I think just slow down with the text, and I think he's on his way.
Yeah, I do appreciate that they take the time to speak very clearly. You know, you want to make sure there's enough space between all of your words when you're speaking to a non-English speaker. The thing is, I do feel like you've touched on something there that I was concerned about as well. At what point in my English speaking journey am I? Like, your target audience must have to know how to speak quite a bit of English to get into your content in the first place, right? Like, you would expect, and I don't watch other language channels is the thing, so I can't say for certainty how this works, but I would expect that you would be, say, a French speaker and you would be going from French to English or from Italian to English,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, Spanish to English. Like, that's kind of what's missing for me is that target audience, because right now it feels like we're going from English to English. There's no like starting language, so is that needed? Is that something? I feel like maybe at least I was looking for captions that might be in other languages, and I'm only seeing the auto-generated English captions from YouTube. So yeah, we don't even like have as non-native speakers, we don't even have context language to put at the bottom for ourselves.
I mean, apparently he's doing something right. He's almost at 10,000 subscribers, so he's doing something correctly. I just don't know what that is.
Yes, that's very true. Like we could be, that's why like I'm careful here, because we could be wrong. Like maybe this is exactly what someone would need to learn English. I've been in English teaching in the United States for the past 20 years. I make video lessons to help you become a better English speaker. So this person obviously has experience, speaking English, but like I'm still kind of wondering, target audience wise, where's your target viewer at on their journey? And that's a question you may have already answered for yourself, but I just don't. That's what
it would be interesting to see his audience demographics and where they're coming from.
Yes, very interesting to see that. Yeah, we don't have that information handy, but it is really. I think it's cool. I think the fact that they're getting like close to 1,000 views on all their videos. I think at 10,000 subscribers, I would like to see some more. And certain videos perform better than others, and I can see why. Just from my own opinion here, I think that when you're talking about speaking confidently on vacation, like something very basic, vacation, holidays, ordering food, those videos obviously are going to do better because they're kind of like everyday situations. Whereas like speak English at a fireworks store, like how specific is that? Like you have to be willing to buy fireworks at a fireworks store instead of like using a website or whatever. I don't think you can buy them online. I don't know, but it's such a specific time of year and a specific need, and so you got to fill out your channel with content somehow. But I can see why certain videos perform better than others.
Can we since this is probably gonna be the last channel that we do, can we click on the free English lesson video? I want to watch a little bit of that.
Yes.
So you're telling me you want to increase your English vocabulary? Well, have I got a great English lesson for you. Today, we are going to take a very common English word and talk about all of the ways that native English speakers use that word in everyday English. And the word today we are going to do a deep dive lesson on is the word stall. So that means we are going to talk about not doing things. We are going to talk about cars.
So it's 30 seconds.
I'm with you. I just don't know who he's targeting. Like I don't understand how. I am genuinely stumped right now. How is this dude getting subscribers? Who's watching these videos? I don't understand. Because it would be one thing, like you said, Dan. It would be one thing if he had some like non-English captions. Then okay. But there's English captions, and he's speaking English, and the text in the video is English. Like, so who's watching these videos?
It's got to be for people who have some experience at this point, and there are lessons out there that basically tell you like if you want to speak better whatever language you're trying to speak, maybe just try watching TV in that language. Go on Netflix and find shows that have been dubbed in your target language and kind of learn that way. Maybe it's people who have been taking a lot of lessons. Like this person is not the first place you would go to learn English. It's maybe they're the second or third channel you would visit to learn English.
Listen, Mr. What's the channel name again?
Speak English with this guy.
Spencer, speak English. Listen, I have no critique because clearly you're doing something that I just don't know what you're doing. You're doing something correctly. I don't know what it is. All I'm gonna tell you, man, is keep up the good work. I just don't understand who your audience is. I don't get it, but your numbers say something different, so I'm not gonna say nothing else. I'm good.
We went full channel audit there. There is one thing I want to talk about, and that is their audio.
Eaters. There's also that menu, which
so let's assume that they're like, I know what I'm doing. Okay. Like you two shut up. Like, I just want to know about the quality of my videos. I wanted to talk about the audio for a second.
Okay.
They're kind of in these different environments, like we saw with the racing channel from earlier, where there's just a lot of stuff in the background. I feel like this, though, in a restaurant, this can be solved in a couple of different ways. I think what you need, if you don't have one already, is a lavalier microphone. This is a microphone that you can clip on to yourself, something that's a little closer to your mouth, something that you can have on like a nice low gain, and then you can kind of adjust in post later. It kind of feels like you're using maybe the on-camera mic, and it's picking up everything in the room. Everything. If a customer walks into this restaurant and starts ordering food, blah blah blah, I'll have the, now they're like talking over you, so now you're having to stop what you're doing and stuff, like whereby like I watch a lot of different videos where people are on different locations and the audio is always nice and clear, and a lot of times they're using a lavalier mic, or they're using an external microphone and they're putting it very close to their mouth. That's why I keep my microphone so uncomfortably close to my mouth, because I don't have like a soundproofed room, so I'm just trying to cut out as much echo as I can. And so the way I have adjusted my mic and the settings, I have to do a pretty good job. I would be working on that, since you're always kind of somewhere in your content, meaning like the locations you visit. I would be working on your audio quality first and foremost, especially when it's like a channel about learning a language. You're going to need people to be able to really easily understand what you're saying. And that's something that I would definitely, be focused on.
Hey, can you put me full screen for a minute?
Yes.
Okay. So I was at the Chicago Auto Show last year, and when I was there, I had this. This is the Deity Pocket Wireless. I think it retailed for around $169. What this mic allowed for was, number one, it's wireless, so it's kind of like a wireless lapel mic with a lot more technology. But if you've ever been to an auto show or a conference or anything like that, you all know how loud the background is. There are different things going on. There are people speaking. There's chatter. This thing virtually cut down all of the background noise, and I was able to record my audio without having to do anything in like post-processing because of the capabilities of this particular microphone. I'm not saying you got to go out there and spend like a ton of money on something like this, but if you're going to be out in the public and public places where there's going to be a lot of background noise, definitely consider getting something like this, or just a lavalier mic, something that's going to cut down and reduce background noise to make your audio that much more clear to your viewers.
Yeah. And then they are here. We're getting some insight here. They said, I'm looking at a DJI wireless mic. It's just $300 and I'll be able to afford it one day. So yeah, that's fair. These are definitely some upgrades, like incremental upgrades. Also, earlier you said these are for intermediate learners, so that's great. So you do have your target audience in mind, so thank you for that. Hopefully we didn't get too hung up on that detail while looking at your channel. But audio for you, I think from us, I would say audio is like your next incremental improvement on your channel. Certainly easy to hear even in these busy restaurant environments, so I would not let that deter you from making content, please. But it is something that could use a little bit of work. And there are a lot of options out there. So there's Deity. I have the Rode Wireless Go 2 that I'm using for my home studio. And yeah, Deity is one I've seen quite a bit. And then you're looking at DJI. So there's a lot of different options, as you're already aware of.
Yeah, you don't have to break the bank either. I mean, there are a lot of affordable options out there as well.
Yeah, and if you happen to know other languages too, it could be interesting to test. Like, for example, if you know French, it could be interesting to test a more beginner level too, like, French to English or something like that. I don't know. This is not my niche, so ignore me if you feel like that's a terrible idea, but it'd be something I'd be very curious about. Yeah, take a look at your audience demographics too to see where people are kind of coming from. Maybe there's like a collab opportunity you can do. If you want to get into that more beginner level video, you could collab with a channel that speaks the language that maybe the majority of your viewers are coming from. There might be some opportunities there as well.
Ooh, before we go, quick question. Something somebody's in the chat. Somebody said that your channel name matters a lot. What are your thoughts on that, Dan?
Yes and no. Kind of little consequence in my opinion, just because it's nice to see a channel that's like focused on exactly what their name is, right? But at the end of the day, like, YouTube isn't putting your channel name front and center when they put videos out. It's your thumbnail, it's your title, and then sometimes at the bottom is your little channel name and stuff. And sometimes that name is utter nonsense. Sometimes that name is very specific to what you do on YouTube. I would say that it's nice to have a name that's memorable, because you'll find when you look in your analytics, people like your top search term on your channel eventually becomes the name that you've chosen for your channel. So that does play into it. So I would say what's important is a name that's easy to remember, easy to spell, less so exactly what you make it. We do talk about channel names quite a bit around here, but I would say that's like you're min-maxing, you know, but I don't feel like you should get too hung up on it. It should just be something that makes sense and is easy to remember.
Yeah, I think channel names are more important for the individual creator. It's not that important on YouTube or to YouTube, but to the individual creator, it's definitely important because what you don't want to do is give yourself a channel name that ties you to a particular niche. Because if you decide to expand past that niche, then you're stuck with a channel name that you ultimately will have to change, or if your audience might get confused because they're like, oh, I came to your channel because you're the cat channel, but now you're covering dogs. So I think in that respect, as you as an individual, you have to be careful about how you name your channel. But for YouTube, like Dan said, it's not that important.
And think brand deals too in the future.
Yes,
Like
yes.
if you have like Farty McPoopface 125 as your gaming handle, and then later you're trying to like get in with like G Fuel or all these companies that sponsor gaming channels, it's like, yeah, we don't really want to partner with Farty McPoopface. I'm sorry, and we're not interested. So just be aware of that too. Like you're choosing a channel name that could act as your brand going forward, and I would be weighing that in my decision as well.
Definitely.
All right, so there you go. That was a pretty well-rounded live stream. We reviewed videos, we reviewed channels, we reviewed channel names. You know, I think we learned something along the way. So thank you, everybody. We'll be back on Tuesday with a channel audit live stream, and Wednesday again with one of these live streams. Join vidIQ Max, link down below. Save a little bit of money. I got nothing. That's it. They're still here.
Appreciate y'all being here.
How do I get rid of them?
If we disappear.
We disappear?
We disappear.
Why can't they just leave? Why do I have to like slam the door in their face? They could just politely leave.
Because they're not going to leave until we leave.
All right, fine. Kerslam. That's the door in your face. Bye. See you, everybody.